Have you ever had a week where you did so much, and at the end of it, you had almost nothing to show for it? There is a termite in a very old story who knows exactly what that feels like. And his lesson cost him everything in front of the entire colony. Meet Tez. He was a termite, and in his colony, he was famous for one thing: speed. While other termites measured, planned, tested the soil, and checked each layer before moving to the next, Tez just built. His mandibles moved faster than any other worker in the colony. He could finish 3 walls while his neighbor finished 1. He carried more material, packed more chambers, and stacked more stories in a single morning than most termites finished in a week. He called the careful ones slow. He called the planners overthinkers. He walked past them with his chest puffed out and his pace never dropping, leaving a trail of half-packed tunnels behind him that he told himself he would fix later. Later never came, because Tez was always building the next thing. One day, the colony's elder assigned a new project. The queen needed a new chamber, big, sturdy, the kind that needed to hold weight, hold moisture, hold the whole colony's future. Every builder in the colony was called to compete. The one whose structure survived a full load test would have the honor of building the queen's permanent residence. Tez did not wait to hear the full brief. He grabbed material and started. While the other termites spent the first 2 days examining the ground, testing for weak spots, drawing their layouts in the dirt, Tez was already on his 4th floor. He packed fast. He stacked fast. His structure rose at a speed that made the whole colony stop and stare. By the time the other termites laid their foundations, Tez had a finished tower. He stood at the top and looked down at the rest. Still working, still slow. He shook his head at them the way someone shakes their head at someone who just does not get it. The test day arrived. The colony's biggest beetle, a creature the size of a small boulder by termite standards, walked up to each structure and placed his full weight on top. The first 2 structures from the careful termites bent under the pressure, creaked, and held. They held. Then, the beetle climbed Tez's tower. It looked magnificent from the outside. Tall, smooth, packed tight on the surface. But Tez had never stopped to check the inside. He had never reinforced the inner columns. He had packed the outer shell and moved on. He had layers with no real bonding, chambers with no support walls, speed without structure. The beetle shifted his weight to one side. For 1 second, the tower held. Then it let out a single low groan. Then the whole thing collapsed into a flat pile of dust and loose dirt. The beetle stood in the middle of it, confused, not a scratch on him, covered in debris. Tez stood at the edge of the wreckage. Not injured, just surrounded by every single hour he had spent. All that speed, all that motion, all that noise, reduced to a pile that a light wind could scatter. The other termites did not laugh. They just went back to work, quiet, careful, the way they had always been. The elder walked past Tez, looked at the rubble, and said something the whole colony heard. A builder who only thinks about finishing will always be starting over. The queen's chamber was given to the quietest of the careful termites, the one who had tested the most, said the least, and finished last, whose structure had shown no bend at all under the beetle's full weight. If you have ever felt drained from a week of doing everything but completing nothing, this story was for you. Drop a like if it landed. Subscribe to this channel because a brand new story drops every single day. Every single day. The next one might be exactly what you needed to hear.